Hey everybody, Will Davis with the Monroe County Reporter. Here's the top story you'll find in this week's Reporter. The father of a Monroe County boy killed in a 2019 wreck has finally been charged with vehicular homicide for being the driver in that fatal wreck. It happened back in September of 2019 when Michael Brown wrecked his car with 3 kids inside when he crossed the center line back on Highway 41 near Lorraine Woods subdivision. His 10-year-old boy Jamarian was killed in the wreck. Mr. Brown was taken to the hospital along with his 2 surviving children, and he was never formally charged with that crime. He has eluded authorities for 2 years, according to the sheriff's office. But last week, he was stopped, actually on Friday. He was stopped at a Bibb County traffic stop. Monroe County deputies picked him up at the Circle K and brought him back to the Monroe County Jail, where he finally faced those vehicular homicide charges. His son, Jamarian, was a student at Hubbard Elementary School in Forsyth. See more details in this week's Reporter. A Mary Persons student was arrested on Thursday during one of those semi-regular sweeps of the campus by drug dogs. Monroe County deputies doing one of their sweeps in the parking lot. The dogs lit on a car belonging to Aiden Nichols. They found an amount of pot and a smoking device, as well as a 6-inch knife inside the car. Mr. Nichols was charged with those crimes and taken to the Monroe County Jail. Meanwhile, deputies also took those dogs to the nearby Achievement Center, the alternative school, where a freshman student was also found to have some drugs on her person. She got snippy with deputies, actually struck one of them and tried to headbutt another, and she was taken to the Youth Detention Center in Macon. See more details in this week's Reporter.
Hey Monroe County, if you're planning a wedding, a big event, a corporate Christmas party, we have the place for you. Our friends at Macon Tent Rentals, Jeff Holloway and his team are Monroe County residents, and they are the best. They are the top of the pack when it comes to tent rentals and preparing for the equipment for a big party. Tents, tables, chairs, lighting, dance floors, staging, pipe, drapes, cooling units, linen, cafe lights, just to name a few. You can even pick up items for rent at their location. Call now for a free quote, 478-746-8269.
Hi, I'm Donna Wilson with this week's Monroe County Reporter Incident of the Week. An intoxicated 43-year-old Macon woman was arrested for DUI refusal and an open container by Deputy Shayna Hawkins after she ran out of gas near North Lee Street on February 7th. Hawkins was dispatched to assist the driver, who was standing outside her 2015 Kia. When the deputy asked for her license, the woman lost her balance and nearly fell over. Hawkins could smell alcohol, and Deputy Bryson asked the driver if she had been drinking. She replied she had only had a cranberry and vodka a few hours earlier at a restaurant. She agreed to take a sobriety test, and after missing 5 heel-to-toe steps and failing to count out loud, she told the deputies, "I could not do this if I was sober." That concluded the test, and she was taken to jail. See the rest on page 4C.
Hey y'all, it's Tammy Raffers with the Monroe County Reporter in this week's Everyday Hero. Usually when you pull up to an automated car wash, you sit in your car and while staring straight ahead, take a ride through the suds, brushes, and sprays, and that's it. It's not a place where you expect to be treated like a unique individual, which is exactly what happens when Ron Pollard is on duty at the Big Peach Car Wash at 126 North Lee Street. Ron is the site manager at the business and has been with the company since its opening in September of 2021. He previously had been working at Tommy's Express on Riverside, where he met the owner of Big Peach, Wes Cone, and the two built up a great rapport. Wes told him one day he wanted to build a car wash in Forsyth and wanted him to go to work for him, but Ron never took him seriously and thought he was just making conversation. Then one day, Wes told him he had broken ground on the project. Ron then started making frequent trips to Forsyth, was amazed at the rapid progress of construction, and soon decided to join Wes's team. It was a perfect fit. What he likes most about his job is when he calls tremendous ownership. For most of his life, he has worked for corporate, but he loves the way he can interact with his present boss. He said he never wants to retire and that he loves working with young people. He added, "When they come back and tell me, 'Mr. Ron, you make one heck of an impression on me,' it makes it all worthwhile." We need more Rons in the world.
Hey, Monroe County, whether you need garage floors, basements, pool decks, or driveway patios, Concrete Coatings are the ones to call. Commercial or residential, they offer a 5-year warranty. Free estimates, call today. Concrete Coatings,
Serving all of Middle Georgia.
I'm Terry Johnson. I write Monroe Outdoors for the Reporter. If you do two things for conservation, I guarantee you it's probably going to be either you put up nest boxes or you feed wildlife. In this week's column, I'm going to talk about nest boxes. In particular, I'm going to talk about one of the birds that also nests in nest boxes but gets very little attention. This is the great crested flycatcher. It's far more vocal, yet it's not as beautiful as a bluebird. Yet it is a fascinating bird. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about in this week's column is that it has the habit of bringing a snakeskin and incorporating it into its nest. In this week's column, I'll tell you how many birds do this and why biologists believe that is the case. For information about the great crested flycatcher and its unique habits, read this week's Reporter.
Monroe County loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories. The Georgia State Patrol wrecked one of its patrol cars in one of those regular chases through Monroe County after a Macon man led authorities up I-75 to the north. Finally, the state troopers were able to pit him near the split, just south of Johnstonville Road, and Mr. Reginald Hill of Macon was arrested. His car was wrecked, as was a state trooper's car, went into the guardrail. Find out more details in the Reporter.
Have you seen this? No, I'm working on the crossword puzzle. There's another chase in Monroe County. Seriously, another? It's crazy. We really got to keep up with the Reporter. Subscribe today. It's only $50 a year.
In sports, the Mary Persons Bulldogs baseball team, easy for you to say, is 3-1 after splitting games with Morgan County and sweeping Taylor County. Taylor County, of course, the hometown of their head coach, Clay Mathis. Find out more in this week's Reporter. Also, the Mary Persons soccer teams, the girls now 5-1 after taking their first loss of the year to Stratford. The boys did beat Stratford. And also, a Monroe County man, Coleman Cawley, a linebacker for the FPD Vikings, signs a commitment to play football at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. Meanwhile, the Mary Persons girls basketball team in the playoffs for the first time in 7 years got a very tough draw against the defending state champs. Find out more in sports in this week's Reporter. He loves its firearms, and there's no better place to get your firearms and ammunition needs than Red Root Defense, a small family-owned business right here in the heart of Georgia near the Jones-Monroe County line. Check them out for a full selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories. Monroe County commissioners said at a meeting Wednesday they have heard complaints about their push to enforce their law against RVs and campers and people living in them permanently. Monroe County commissioners saying that they have heard people's voices, complaints on Facebook and other places about the new proposal and about the efforts to enforce that law. Monroe County commissioners hiring a new person to help with code enforcement, and the Reporter has landed an interview with the gentleman.